It's really emotional for me. I was really surprised because I went back and really lived that kind of fear that only a 5-year-old can experience. And, you know, but for me, the wonderful part of having that experience was my relationship with my divinity and God.
We have to look at the question, what do we really want in life? Do we want a life of fear or one of love? Is the glass half empty or half full? And it's our choice. But in order to make the right choice, the choice that will bring us the most love, where you can really feel it, you have to face your own fears.
Right, you have to allow it go through the journey of it and come out the other side of it.
Go through the process of embracing your own fears and realizing they can't hurt you, and forging forward with the feeling of what you're trying to find, and the answer will come in the package that the universe feels it should come.
I know, but you know, sometimes I really feel that when are we going to get it? And sometimes it's not possible. I was on the subway, I don't know, yesterday, but you see it all the time. When did this thing come up? Talk to the hand. That is such an invalidation of another human being. That's saying, I'm not allowing you in your energy, in my energy, you have no validity. I am shutting you off, you are nothing. And really what actually creates somebody to do that is fear. They don't want to hear what it is that is your passion or your upset. But it's a lousy. People, please stop doing that. You really actually get to miss who the other person is and what they have to say, and communicating and opening up your heart.
Well, the thing of it is that they don't want the change. They are comfortable in their own insecurity and fear, and they are fearful of what may happen if they really have to face the reality of their existence. And so that's how they do it. They stop it. Mm-hmm. They condemn it. They ostracize it. They judge it.
You know, with cell phones and all the technology and the art of I mean, people converse now text messaging. It's just another way of stopping communication and moving, and really not even addressing what your own fear is. That's not asking the question of why am I doing this? All I know is I don't want to hear you. If you stopped and asked the question, you might actually do some introspection and find some answers.
It's a hard thing because people can't be still with themselves. And the introspection is concentration, which leads to meditation and stillness. And people don't like being alone with themselves because they're fearful of what they really see.
Yeah.
The real them.
Yeah, and you know what? Because of television, everything is so immediate. You know, we get newscasts on war, people being blown up, seeing murders, reality television, not that anybody's necessarily murdering people, but it's almost as if that kind of violence and that kind of fear doesn't impact us anymore because we see it so much.
Well, it makes us feel good. So when we see all the negative things out there, it puts us in a higher level. So we say, wow, look at all the terrible things around us. I'm not bad. These are much worse.
And we lose the impact of the complete annihilation of another spirit, and that, you know, we're all grains of sand. We're all in this together. And certainly, you know, physical violence in a home. You know, it's not only men beating women, but women have, you know, instead of finding the language of expressing what it is that's left you an upset, it's much easier to strike at somebody.
Absolutely. And it's the way that we dissipate our anger, dissipate the negative energy. but it's only short-lived. It's like the tea kettle that overflows from boiling water. It only allows the overflow from the top. So you get a transient blow-up of energy, but it's still simmering. And shortly, it'll come up again. Mm-hmm. And then you get another explosive force, and then it comes up again. And that's anger, and that's a chronic fear. And that transmits into our life. That transmits into muscle spasms and chronic anxiety and intestinal spasms and coronary artery spasms and on and on and on. So it's a vicious cycle. It's our mindset that will eventually control our entire mind, body, and spirit, and the way we interact with other people, not only in romantic relationships and business relationships and in daily relationships.
Yeah, we are the author of our own life, and we can either dance in the dark or choose the light. But I think, you know, sometimes fear, I actually, in one of our shows when we did the Dead and Walking and the death experience, that, you know, fear says, trust me. I will never betray you. You know, fear is a friend. Fear is our mind. It lives in our head. A lot of us have a much bigger relationship with our mind and trust that much more than our hearts, because that leads us to be vulnerable and take a risk.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's the problem, is that people align themselves with fear because they think it's the safer route. And in reality, it's the more dangerous route.
What was your fearful experience?
Well, when I was 7 years old, I saw what my life was going to look like into the future.
Yeah. Can we roll the clip on that?
Sure.
Yeah. Can we roll the clip on John's experience?
The scariest time in my entire life, second to none, is when I was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, I used to spend a lot of time sitting on this little concrete stoop that led to the basement of the house we lived in. And I used to spend a lot of time there alone. And I used to just stare off into the distance and think. At the time, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I was actually meditating. But I didn't know anything about meditation. But also, I would see in Technicolor my whole life in front of me. And I knew it was my life. I recognized me going through my life. And the scariest part of this whole series of episodes was when I finally saw I was going to get married twice. And the first time for 7 years, and the second time for 16. And I was going to get divorced. And it really upset me. It upset me because that's not what I looked at marriage as. And I had absolutely no control. The only benefit was I saw 3 beautiful children. And it's not because they're my kids, because I don't look at them that way. But they really are 3 independent, free-spirited souls who move through life on their own accord. And I'm really proud of that. But the scary thing was, I said, my God, 16 plus 7, okay, we're 23 years. I dated each woman for 2 years. That's 4 years. That's 27 years of my life. Add 7 to that. I wasn't going to get married at 7. And we're up to 34 years. 34 years of my life spent trying to learn what a relationship was all about. The amazing thing was there's a lot more than that, because I first got married when I was 26. So if you look at it that way, it's 44 years of my life spent trying to establish a romantic relationship that was real and would last. Now, that's scary. the interesting thing that hit me was my father was just a simple coal miner. Told me my life wouldn't begin till I was 62. And then I'd really learn what love was all about. And all I kept on thinking was, I would be an old man. What is 62? I'm getting ready to die. Well, now I'm 62. I'm not even close to wanting to die or ready to die. I'm more alive now than ever before in my life because I understand what life is all about. It's about energy. It's not chronological age. It's the energy. It's the passion. And when you get that passion, that energy, it's incredible. So at 26, I was the walking dead. At 36 and 46, I was probably worse off. At 62, I'm alive and well. And that's what my story was all about. Well, that was very
I'm afraid. Wow, you were a powerful child.
Basically, I saw my future. I saw my future in the idea of relationships. I saw I was going to be married twice, and 2 relationships lasting basically 18 years and 9 years. And I said, but why? Why does it have to be that way? And I don't want to live that type of life. But
yeah, what's extraordinary is that it led you to where you are in this moment.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience retrospectively because, like in the Buddhist philosophy, if you learn something from a negative experience, then it's a wonderful experience. So I guess the bottom line is, embrace fear. It's not our enemy. It's not the war on fear. It's being aware of what fear really is. And its many faces, so we could recognize it. And if we can do that, then we can learn to deal with it in a loving manner.
And fear can be transformed in a moment.
Into positive energy.
Into love.
Into love. And that's what life is all about. In summary, the many faces of fear are something that we have to recognize and that we should embrace and deal with. If we deal with it in a loving, caring manner, we can transform it and transform our life into one of love and one of excitement and adventure, as opposed to one of fear, being shut down and closed out.
Yeah, so come on, so join the powerful army that's marching right now. I know that's a kind of a strange analogy, but be a stand and stand in love and generate that. And fear, in time, maybe not our lifetime, but will eventually go away. So choose love, not fear.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.
Namaste.